Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glam Gam Ganapati Namah. Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glam Gam Ganapati Namah. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murti Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Om Om. The camera got really close in my face. Also, might push you guys away a little bit. All right. Hello, Facebook. Great to see you all this morning. It's still morning time. So I was taking a moment to go live to announce that after consulting with all of you, I have picked a time for the Kundalini and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika 5 free classes. We had a lot of response. It was really great to see all the responses. We had people from Hawaii, all the way to Germany, throughout Europe, Iceland, all throughout the United States. So a lot of people, so that's a lot of time zones, and then I have my schedule as well. So with that, I landed on the date. October 17th, we'll have the first class, Sunday, October 17th at 2 p.m. We'll continue every Sunday until the 14th of November. So that's 5 Sundays. If you can't make these times, don't worry, because I'm going to leave the course up for 48 hours online, and you'll be able to still watch it for free. After that 48 hours, I'll start compiling all of these videos, and then after the course, the 5 courses are done, there'll be all of the information from those courses edited with some extra teachings that I'm going to be giving, particularly more in depth about mudras and bandhas in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. We will talk about that in the courses, but it'll be even more in depth in the course that I'll release after the 5. So there's multiple opportunities to get in here for free and also at a paid level. So stay tuned for all that. So that's the exciting news. I'm really looking forward to starting these courses. So we've got about 3 weeks until October 17th, Sunday, October 17th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or it might be daylight savings time. I'm not sure how that'll go, so we'll need to keep our eye on that. So with that, while I'm here live, I wanted to just look at one of the verses in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika that talks about Kundalini. It's from the 4th chapter, verse 10. When the great power, Kundalini, has been awakened by the various asanas, the different Kumbhakas and mudras, the prana is still in the void of the Brahmarandhra. So what does all of that mean? When the great Kundalini has been awakened by various asanas, different Kumbhakas and mudras, the prana is still in the Brahmarandhra. Okay, we're going to break this down bit by bit. We all generally know what Kundalini is. I'm assuming most of us. It's the latent power. Kundalini is referring to Shakti, or Ma, Divine Mother. So it's the power of Divine Mother, the spiritual potency, the spiritual power. They say in most people this energy is dormant, but when it's awakened, we have heightened spiritual experience, heightened spiritual awareness, which ultimately leads to liberation. I put up a quote on Facebook. I don't have it memorized. It was in the My Story, but it was saying that awakening Kundalini is the key to liberation. So Kundalini movement is not liberation. It's an experience that is moving you towards liberation. So that's a very important differentiation. People think that they start to have these experiences or these phenomena of the Shakti moving through their body, and that means that we're enlightened, and it just means no, it actually means we're going through purification or we're having enhanced experiences. Some people have enlightenment with no Kundalini. So Kundalini is just one method or one path or one experience that happens for people who are on the path of spiritual awakening. So the great Kundalini has been awakened by various asanas. So asanas mean physical postures, seated positions, what we think of as what most people will call yoga, is what we think of as asana, so the yoga poses, and different kumbhakas. So what is kumbhaka? Kumbhaka means breath retention. So breath retention is a very detailed topic, and we're not going to go completely into it right now, but kumbhakas are of different kinds. There's with will. So for any Kundalini yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan people, you do Sudarshan Chakra Kriya, and you hold the breath and you pump your navel. So that's a forced or a willful kumbhaka. There's also spontaneous kumbhaka, which is when the breath goes into a state of cessation without moving. The breath is not moving, and not because we're trying, it's spontaneously occurring. And this is from a deep state of meditation. There's nothing wrong with held forced kumbhakas, although if they're done too aggressively too soon, they can create psychological, physical, mental imbalances we might not even notice. But that's a different topic. And like I said, it's a huge topic, but basically breath retention. So the Kundalini is awakened through various postures, through different breath retention and mudras. So often when people think of mudras, they think of hand gestures. Now in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it's not talking so much about those mudras. It's talking about Mahamudra. And I'm not going to go into all of the mudras now, but we will talk about them in the course. So I'm just going to keep starting at the beginning of this verse and then going up to where we've gotten to. When the great Kundalini has been awakened by various asanas, postures, different kumbhakas or breath retentions, and mudras, the prana is then still in the void of the Brahmarandraha. So prana and the Brahmahandra. So what is prana? There's 5 kinds of prana. I won't go over them all now. But when prana becomes still, prana means energy or life force. It's the all-pervasive life force. When prana becomes still in the void, so the void is in the higher chakras, the third eye and the Sahasrara chakra. So the Brahmarandara, it's kind of a tongue twister word, is actually can be like a synonym for the Sahasrara chakra or the 1,000-petal lotus. So this is saying that after we use all of these methods of practice, that our prana, our life force, becomes still. So this is what we call Raja Yoga, the experience of Raja Yoga, cessation of the mind, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha from the Yoga Sutras. The prana becomes still, and then we can go into the void, into the higher chakras, where we can experience absolute stillness. So that's just one verse. The next one, I haven't even read this before, I wasn't prepared, but in the yoga, in whom the Kundalini Shakti is awakened, in whom is free from all karma, the truly natural state comes into being on its own. So I won't go into that. I thought maybe I would. So thanks all for listening. Let's see if anybody's out there, if anybody has any questions or comments. Don't see any. So I appreciate you guys listening to my little commentary on that one verse. And then also, I've announced the time, so let me know what you guys are thinking, and I look forward to starting this on October 17th, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we'll stay in touch until then as we start to get the material ready to share with you guys. Thank you all. Great to be here on Facebook with you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.